Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The funeral of the mayor of Gdansk, Paweł Adamowicz, who was murdered on Sunday, will most likely take place this Saturday. In Gdansk and many other cities in Poland, days of mourning have been announced. The detained assassin, Stefan W., was officially arrested and charged with murder today. According to the Ministry of Interior and Administration, the killer had mental disorders.
Stop Hatred was the motto of many marches by residents in many Polish cities, which took place yesterday to commemorate the death of the Gdańsk mayor Paweł Adamowicz. Thousands of people gathered in the March of Silence in the city of Gdańsk itself. I think that we may witness many different reactions by people. People may have various political associations, but now we need a time of silence, time for reflection. I'm scared of what may happen in the political scene in Gdańsk now. Certainly our young generation is very active. You see it on social media. Everyone is trying to support each other.
Social media.
Pomeranian Voivode announced days of mourning throughout the entire Pomeranian Voivodeship until the day of the funeral. The mayors of Gdynia, Sopot, Warsaw, Wrocław and Poznań also joined in. President Andrzej Duda said yesterday that the funeral day of Paweł Adamowicz will be declared a day of national mourning.
Mam wolę tego, aby pamięć tego polityka została uczczona.
It is my will to commemorate the memory of this politician with a day of national mourning. I asked when that day would be set. I wanted it to be a joint decision that we as a political class would take together. We have determined that the best day will be the one set by the family, which is the day of the funeral.
Ten dzień, który zostanie ustalony przez rodzinę jako dzień pogrzebu.
The role of a temporary commissioner of Gdańsk was accepted by the Hitero II deputy mayor Aleksandra Dulkiewicz. Once again, I would like to thank you very much for all the words of compassion, solidarity, good thoughts, first and foremost on behalf of the mayor's family. The perpetrator of the attack on Paweł Adamowicz, Stefan W., pleaded not guilty. The prosecutor's office charged him with murder and decided to arrest him for 3 months.
Hello, my name is Stefan W. I was innocent and was wrongfully in jail. The Civic Platform Party tortured me. That is why Adamowicz just died.
The highest penalty for the act he committed is life in prison. According to the Ministry of Interior and Administration, in the past, Stefan W. was undergoing psychiatric treatment. Yesterday, the website Wirtualna Polska reported that he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia while serving a sentence for bank robberies. According to unofficial reports, the funeral will probably take place on Saturday, and Paweł Adamowicz's body will be cremated.
Following the shocking murder of the mayor of Gdansk, Paweł Adamowicz, an increasing number of people are calling for a cleansing of aggression and hatred from Polish politics. However, the pushback hasn't deterred some corners from seeking political gain from the tragic events.
After the death of the president of Gdańsk, appeals to stop the never-ending spiral of hatred and aggression came from both political sides in Poland. The issue was also raised by the president of Poland, Andrzej Duda, and the clergymen of the Polish Catholic Church.
Żeby powstrzymać się od wszelkich.
I appeal to everyone to not make this into an argument, especially not a political one. We are all in deep pain. However, there were some people who called the tragic incident a political assassination. As Mr. President said yesterday, it was a murder of an official, of a public servant. President Adamowicz died fulfilling his duties. He was a representative of the country. The man who killed him wanted to have revenge on him for being allegedly mistreated by the authorities. It was indeed a murder of a politician, but not a political murder. The question remains whether the Gdańsk tragedy can put an end to the emotions that are running high in Polish politics. It's even possible that because of the tragic incident, the political campaigns for the European Parliament elections and the parliamentary elections in Poland will get even more aggressive. Even now, some politicians are trying to use this tragedy as a political tool. The brutal murder of Paweł Adamowicz was a huge shock for the Polish political scene. Unfortunately, the chance of subsequent broader change seems unlikely.
The ongoing saga concerning Brexit continues to rumble on. Tonight, the Houses of Commons will vote on the agreement concerning the conditions of the United Kingdom's exit from the European Union negotiated by Theresa May's government. It is highly likely that the parliamentarians will reject the agreement. However, the 17.6 million members of the public who voted for Brexit are still left wondering if their vote will be honoured by the British establishment.
The ministers of the Prime Minister's cabinet support the agreement negotiated by May. Many of them feel that even if Theresa May loses today's vote in Parliament, there is no way it will lead to her resignation.
Yes, I am against no deal. I am for the Prime Minister and I'm for the withdrawal agreement today. And as the Daily Mail editorial said today, we need to put our country first.
I think the Prime Minister will make her case this evening to all my colleagues with force and eloquence, and I think there's no question of the Prime Minister resigning. The Parliamentary Party voted that they had confidence in her last year. I believe the Prime Minister is doing the right thing. I believe she should continue to lead the party in the country.
The Labour Party rejects the agreement concerning the United Kingdom's exit from the European Union. A part of Conservatives and the Coalition Democratic Unionist Party of Northern Ireland will vote against the proposal as well. An agreement on the border status between Ireland and Northern Ireland, the so-called backstop, has raised a lot of doubts.
We said to the Prime Minister that she needed to, our preference, get rid of the backstop and have a withdrawal agreement that could be lived with. Unfortunately, I don't even think that the Prime Minister asked to get rid of the backstop.
The agreement will be accepted if 320 parliamentarians support it. Great Britain is due to leave the European Union on March 29th.
The Italian communist terrorist Cesare Battisti has been extradited to Italy from Bolivia. Battisti had been sentenced for 4 murders in the 1970s, but escaped justice after being given asylum by socialist heads of states, first in France and more recently in Brazil. However, with the new National Conservative president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, about to assume power, Cesare Battisti decided to illegally cross into Bolivia in December, where he was captured and sent back to Italy. After 37 years, justice has finally caught up with him.
Cesare Battisti was initially sentenced to 12 years in jail in 1979, having been a member of a terrorist organization. He managed to escape in 1981 and was given asylum in France by the socialist president François Mitterrand. Battisti was sentenced in absentia in 1988 for having participated in 4 murders committed by his communist terror organization, Armed Proletarians for Communism. In the early 2000s, France changed their stance and Battisti fled to Brazil, where he was given sanctuary by the socialist president Lula. He remained under protection until the conservative candidate Jair Bolsonaro won the Brazilian presidential election in October. The Italian Minister of Interior, Matteo Salvini, thanked Bolsonaro for his help during a rally in Milan on Sunday.
Ringrazio.
I want to thank those who made this change possible, the new president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, who took away the protection of Cesare Battisti. Battisti is a murderer, not a writer, not an ideologist. Reading some newspapers, you have the impression he is almost a philosopher, a free thinker. He was sentenced by Italian courts to life because he personally killed innocent people. He is a communist murderer. That's all. For me, he will rot in jail for the rest of his life. Battisti, aged 64, will now be taken to a prison on the island of Sardinia, where he will serve a full life sentence for his heinous crimes.
Thank you very much for joining us here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily weather and then the business, and that's followed by the culture, the travel and the history.